has went viral over a photo that has been displayed with her and Sandy Bardello. Yes, of the New York Liberty. There is a photo that is floating around, which we're about to pick up, and many people is insinuating that Caitlin Clark could be trying to plan the outs of Indiana.
Caitlin Clark, the queen of basketball, is finally getting the respect she deserves, and it's driving Stephanie White over the edge. After months of forcing Clark into a system that didn't fit, White is now realizing what other teams already knew. The New York Liberty just made it loud and clear with a post-game move that shows they're ready to treat Clark like the star she is, and the whole basketball world is watching.
There is a WNBA team that have been very, very, very much in, like, they made it clear that they want Caitlin Clark, or they're eventually going to want Caitlin Clark. Along those lines, they made it very, very clear.
Caitlin Clark, fresh off yet another injury thanks to the rough play Stephanie White keeps ignoring, was spotted sitting in the tunnel at Barclays Center after the Fever's 98-77 blowout loss to the Liberty. But instead of looking upset, she was all smiles, chatting with Liberty coach Sandy Bardello, superstar Breanna Stewart, and Sabrina Ionescu, like they were plotting the biggest move in WNBA history. And just to make things more interesting, Clark's agent, Aaron Kane, was right there too. Because when agents show up to friendly chats, it usually means serious business is on the table.
So we're going to talk about this little scene that took place after the Fever game last night in New York between Sandy Bardello and Caitlin Clark, the New York Liberty, and the agent. The agent. That is what makes this so interesting.
This wasn't just a friendly post-game chat between basketball colleagues. This was straight-up recruitment 101. And the New York Liberty brought out their best for it. Breanna Stewart, who's made it clear she's never leaving New York. Sabrina Ionescu, locked in long-term and fully committed to the Liberty. And coach Sandy Bardello, a proven leader who knows how to elevate generational talent, not hold it back.
And today, we have just seen the New York Liberty players, after the game, meeting up with Caitlin Clark. It is Stewie, it is Sabrina Ionescu, there is Sandy Bardello. And by the way, Stewie is not leaving New York the rest of her career. That is one thing that I will be 99% sure of. That Stewie is not leaving. New York. Sabrina is not going to leave New York. I think there is a 50-50 chance Caitlin Clark leaves Indiana after her rookie season.
Meanwhile, Stephanie White is likely off in the background, having flashbacks to every questionable decision she's made this season, like giving Natasha Howard more minutes than Caitlin Clark in the first half of games. Choices like that are starting to look less like strategy and more like sabotage.
You know, one thing I like about the New York Liberty, they got a little run and gun in their offense. When I watched them the other day against the Aces, and Sandy does a wonderful job making that ball go. And it's fast paced. They shoot threes. They allow Sabrina be Sabrina. She can shoot her threes. They're a very well-balanced team. They got a little inside, but they also got some outside too. And I can see why they won the championship. And I just hope that when Caitlin Clark feels and sees that, she goes, that's a good idea.
Like putting Clark on minutes restrictions, ones Clark herself called silly and refused to follow. Like standing by while her franchise star gets hurt for the fourth time this season, all while ignoring the obvious. The non-stop physical abuse Clark takes on the court is directly linked to her injuries. And yet, White keeps pretending it's all just part of the game.
By the way, Caitlin Clark looks unbelievably happy talking to these folks. But this is how it starts in sports. This is how it starts in the NFL. This is how it starts in the NBA. When you start seeing the wheels in motion, there's signs. There's signs before eventually a player gets traded. A player eventually marks their next destination. The Indiana Fever, you're on notice. You're on notice. You better recognize what you've got going on, the asset in front of you, and you do whatever you have to do to correct what is happening.
Stephanie White has spent this entire season trying to prove that no single player is bigger than the system. She keeps repeating the same worn-out message about balance and team basketball, all while Caitlin Clark gets beat up on the court and the Fever fail to form any clear identity, other than we have Caitlin Clark, but we don't know how to use her. It's like owning a Ferrari and driving it like a Honda Civic just to avoid turning heads.
I think the obvious issue is Stephanie White is so stubborn to fit a circle in a square peg instead of utilizing the strengths of the team. And she probably felt relief because Caitlin Clark was hurt that, oh, this is my time. I can introduce the culture and the system. And some actually bought in. And then when Caitlin Clark comes back, she doesn't know how to use her. That's not coaching to me.
But here's where it gets really juicy. The Liberty aren't just some random team hoping to steal Clark, they're the reigning WNBA champions. A team that actually knows how to build around superstars. They understand pace, spacing, and how to let elite players do what they do best. Under coach Sandy Brondello, they've built an offensive system that's fluid, fast, and smart, one that moves the ball beautifully but still gives room for individual greatness to shine. They lead the league in net rating, offensive rating, and know how to push the pace in a way that would let a talent like Clark absolutely thrive. Now compare that to Indiana. In New York, Clark could be unleashed. In Indiana, she's being boxed in. Stephanie White has her playing in a system that's the exact opposite of what made her legendary at Iowa. There, Clark was the system, pulling up from the logo, calling her own number, and running the offense with complete freedom. In Indiana, she's stuck in a slow, structured setup that limits her shots, stifles her creativity, and dulls everything that makes her a generational talent.
What's crazy is that her team lost the damn game, but Caitlin is all smiles. She's all smiles. She's all smiles. So many people is insinuating. They're insinuating that Caitlin Clark could be trying to get the hell out of Indy. Now, I ain't gonna hold you. Your boy John Liquidator definitely want her to get out of Indy, bro.
The numbers don't lie. Caitlin Clark is putting up 16.5 points, 8.8 assists, and 5 rebounds per game, impressive stats by any standard. But here's the red flag, she's shooting just 29% from 3. For a player known for sinking bombs from 26, 27, even 30 feet, that drop isn't just surprising, it's a sign she's trapped in a system that completely fails to maximize her greatest weapon. And it's not just her shooting that's suffering. Clark has already missed 11 games this season with various injuries, after never missing a single game in college or her rookie year. That's not a coincidence. Enter Sandy Brondello, the coach who could change everything. She's not just experienced, she's elite. A championship winner, a proven leader, and someone who's successfully coached legends like Diana Taurasi and Breanna Stewart. Brondello doesn't try to shrink her stars to fit a system, she builds the system around them. And when she talks about Caitlin Clark, there's real admiration in her voice. Real respect. Not the passive-aggressive frustration that always seems to creep into Stephanie White's press conference.
She's just a great player. Honestly, point blank and simple. She's a great player. She is a great player. People enjoy watching her play. All right? People enjoy it. I don't know why you guys hate her so much. I have no idea why you guys hate her so much. She's, because of Caitlin Clark, has been a lot more attention drawn to the WNBA now. You guys should be thanking Caitlin Clark.
She's a great player, Brondello said about Clark, and just like that, you can hear the difference. It's a sharp contrast to Stephanie White's constant drumbeat about team basketball and no one being bigger than the system. Brondello gets it. She knows that when you have a once-in-a-generation talent like Caitlin Clark, you don't try to control her, you build around her and let her lift everyone around her. And the Liberty? They're setting the stage perfectly. They've got Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu locked in long-term, 2 stars reportedly willing to take hometown discounts just to bring in the biggest name in basketball. They've got a brand new training facility on the way, championship experience, and most importantly, a coach who actually understands how to let Clark be Clark. No limits. No leash. Just a system built to let her shine.
Yeah, you never want to see a player get injured, and a player like Caitlin coming back has had a few injuries this year. She's a great player. You know, it'll be good for our crowd to see her, but hopefully we'll get to see her after post All-Star to get to play again. As for the All-Star, you know, I'm excited to get to know her a little bit. I think that's the part of the All-Star. It's going to coach players that you haven't coached before and get them to know them a little bit and enjoy the whole celebration.
But let's talk about what's really got Stephanie White sweating: the timing. Caitlin Clark's rookie contract runs through 2026, but with the WNBA's collective bargaining agreement up for renegotiation, there's serious talk about changing or even removing the current restrictions on rookie deals. That could give Clark the leverage to demand a trade, or simply walk away when her contract ends. And honestly, after seeing how other teams treat their stars compared to how she's been handled in Indiana, why would she stay? Just look at the contrast. The Liberty are out here taking team bonding trips to Napa Valley, getting fined $500,000 for giving their players chartered flights, because they believe their stars deserve better. Meanwhile, the Fever can't even keep Clark healthy or build an offense that fits her skill set. It's not even close. And that tunnel scene at Barclays Center? That wasn't some random post-game chit-chat. When you've got Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, and Sandy Brondello huddled around Clark, with her agent present, that's not coincidence. That's a carefully staged preview. A pitch. A glimpse of the future. The Liberty are showing her what life could be like, playing for a franchise that respects greatness, in a city that celebrates it, under a coach who knows how to unleash generational talent instead of holding it back.
That, with all the restricted free agency and everything, I think they're going to try to get rid of all coring out of the CBA. I don't think coring is going to be a thing. I don't think coring is going to be a thing in the CBA. And obviously, look, you're going to have to core players. And they're going to have to core Aaliyah a year earlier than Caitlin. And if they're scared Aaliyah's going to leave, and if they're like, oh, we want to core and trade Caitlin, then Aaliyah leaves for nothing. And Caitlin leaves for nothing. So it's a bit of a weird one. It's a weird situation. But you can see, and this is one of the more important things. You see this right here? You see this right here? This is Caitlin's agent.